Stop for a moment. There is a war taking place in the global financial system. And whether you realize it or not, it is being fought directly over your labor, your savings, and your future. You hear the headlines every day. Inflation is rising, interest rates are being hiked, markets are volatile. But these are not just abstract economic terms, they are weapons. They determine whether your money grows or quietly disappears. This conflict is a battle between two powerful forces: inflation, the silent thief, and interest rates, the blunt instrument of control. They appear to be enemies, but in reality, they are both used within the same system, and that system rarely works in favor of the average person. So the real question is not which one is stronger. The real question is, who actually wins when inflation and interest rates collide? And the uncomfortable answer is this: almost never the worker, almost never the saver. Today, we're going to expose this financial battlefield. We'll break down the conflict, the control mechanisms, and the real winners behind the inflation versus interest rate war, so you can finally understand the terrain you are forced to navigate. Let's start by identifying the first enemy clearly. Inflation is not rising prices. Rising prices are merely the symptom. Inflation is the devaluation of your currency, caused by an expansion of the money supply. When more money is created faster than real goods and services are produced, each unit of money becomes worth less. Inflation is a silent thief because it doesn't announce itself. It steals while you sleep. It steals the purchasing power of every hour you worked last year. It steals the value of money sitting patiently in savings accounts. It steals without ever sending you a bill. Look at your grocery costs, your rent, your energy bills. This isn't bad luck. This isn't personal failure. This is structural. And here's the uncomfortable truth. High inflation rewards debtors. Those who borrowed large sums at low interest rates, corporations, governments, wealthy asset owners, get to repay those debts with cheaper, diluted money. But inflation punishes savers, people who followed the rules, who delayed gratification, who trusted that saving cash was responsible. Inflation isn't chaos by accident, it's managed chaos. Chaos that consistently benefits asset owners and punishes cash holders. When inflation becomes politically dangerous, the central bank steps in. And it doesn't use finesse. It reaches for the most powerful lever it has: interest rates. Raising interest rates is not subtle. It's like slamming the brakes on a speeding vehicle. The objective is simple: pain. Why pain? Because the only way to slow inflation is to reduce borrowing, reduce spending, reduce demand, and the fastest way to do that is to make money expensive. Higher interest rates mean mortgage payments surge, credit card debt becomes crushing, business loans dry up, hiring slows, layoffs increase. The central bank deliberately introduces the fear of recession to restore confidence in the currency. They freeze the economy to extinguish the fire, often a fire created by years of easy money in the first place. This is not a cure. This is control. Officially, no one is supposed to get hurt. In reality, entire groups are sacrificed. Casualty 1: first-time home buyers. When rates spike, affordability collapses. People who were close to buying are suddenly locked out. They are forced to keep renting, transferring wealth to asset owners. Casualty 2: small business owners. Small businesses rely on access to credit. When borrowing becomes expensive, growth stops, expansion freezes, failures rise. Casualty 3: workers and job seekers. This is the part rarely said out loud. The central bank needs unemployment to rise to reduce inflation. Job losses are not a side effect. They are part of the equation. Interest rates are a hammer, and the average worker is always the nail. So who actually wins? Not inflation, not interest rates. The real winner is the cycle itself, a recurring transfer of wealth from those who hold cash to those who own assets. Here's how it works. Phase 1. Inflation, new money enters the system. Asset prices rise. Living costs increase faster than wages. Wealth flows upward. Phase 2. Rate hikes. The brakes are slammed. Markets fall. Fear spreads. Those with capital sell early or buy selectively. New investors panic and sell at losses. Wealth flows upward again. If the damage is too severe, governments intervene. Banks are rescued. Corporations are stabilized. Markets are supported. The cycle restarts. This is not theory. It is observable history. The wealthy win in both expansion and contraction because they understand the rules of the game. The rules are simple. Cash loses slowly through inflation or suddenly through financial tightening. Your defense is not panic, it's understanding. You must move from being a passive participant to an informed owner. That means converting labor into assets, prioritizing ownership over accumulation, understanding how debt works and when it works for you. The war between inflation and interest rates will never end. Volatility is not a failure of the system, it is the system, and those who understand it are rewarded accordingly. Inflation hits immediately, wages don't. This delay is called wage lag, and it creates a built-in deficit. Prices adjust in real time. Salaries adjust once a year. If you're lucky, your raise is often tied to official inflation metrics that assume you'll downgrade your lifestyle to cope. your productivity may rise, but unless your replacement cost is high, your bargaining power remains low. This is why working harder often fails to close the gap. Low interest rates encourage corporations to borrow, not to raise wages, but to inflate asset prices. High inflation is often used as cover to expand profit margins. Workers absorb the pressure, and psychologically, the system produces guilt and exhaustion. You're told to save more. While your savings are quietly devalued, you're told to work harder, while the finish line keeps moving. This is not personal failure, it's systemic design. You now understand the battlefield, you know the weapons, you know the casualties, and you know the real winners. The only remaining question is what you do with this knowledge. The war between inflation and interest rates will never end. But once you understand the system, you stop being its victim. The time for passive saving is over. Don't leave the war half fought. Click the next video now to witness the ultimate showdown, inflation versus interest rates, and discover who is really winning the battle for your money. This is Capital Unlocked.